I'm in Shenandoah National Park, and this at the bottom of Oldrag Mountain. This is the Berry Hollow parking area. There's my little red car. Got a few people here today. And the trailhead's up that way. Gonna hike up the fire road this way towards Old Rag Summit, but when we get up to the old village of Old Rag, we're gonna turn left and do a big loop around Robertson Mountain. Robertson Mountain is the next mountain over to the west of Old Rag. The elevation here is 1,520 feet. Great big tulip poplar. Monster tree. Walnut tree. Here's some walnuts laying on the ground here. There's another one starting to drop off. Nine-tenths of a mile into my hike. I'm up to 1,920 feet. And this is the extinct village of Old Rag, Virginia. That's the road I came up on from Berry Hollow. So there was a post office here, there was a school here, and people lived here. Now that road is the road I'm going up on. That road heads up towards the summit of Robertson Mountain. And the right-hand road takes you down through like Weakley Hollow and over to the main trail going up Old Rag. And then this trail right here next to the sign is, you can go up to Old Rag the back way. And I have a video on that too. So, gonna rest here for a minute and then I'm heading up that way to the left. And a lot more climbing to do to get up to the summit of Robertson. .5 miles into my hike. Still climbing the Old Rag Fireroad. I'm up to 2,230 feet. Here's a blowdown. And across the road. This must be fairly recent, judging from the color of that split wood there. And also, they keep this road fairly cleared out. If they have to come down here and rescue somebody, this is one of the rescue routes to get down here. Anyway, that's the way I'm headed. That's the way I came from. I'm out of breath because this is a pretty steep trail here. Pretty steep fire road. And I've got to get up to, I got to climb over 3,000 feet until I get up to Robertson Mountain Trail. And then I'm going to turn right and head for the absolute summit. But for now, let's see, I got another, this is straight line distance, at a 1.1 miles up to Robertson Mountain Trail. I was still hiking up the Old Rag Fireroad. Let's see. I'm 2.3 miles into my hike and I'm up to about 2,600 feet. Almost stepped on that little guy. Sorry, buddy. Oh, nice little turtle. You just go about your business and I'll go about mine. .3 miles into my hike, I'm up to 2,760 feet. And there's the turn off to Robertson Mountain Trail. So from here on down to over the summit is going to be just a trail. Here's the Old Rag Fireroad. That's the way I came up. It's been quite a climb coming up here. And if you continue up that way another probably 4 miles or so, you'll end up at Skyland Resort. Well, we're turning off here, and I think I'm at 2,700 or so. I got to get up to about 32 something to get up to the summit. And then which is about another half a mile from here. Once I get up to the summit, then it's downhill the whole way back, I think. So, also there used to be a benchmark up here at the summit. We'll see if we can see that, and also we'll see if we can see Old Rag from up here. Heading up to the summit, this is Robertson Mountain Trail. Check out this mountain laurel. Left and right. Look how thick it is. This would be something to see in the spring when this mountain laurel's in bloom. This stuff grows so thick in places that you can't really push your way through it. So, if you're on a stretch of this trail, like let's say right here, and you run into a bear coming the other way, like let's say this stretch right here, it's kind of hard to get out of the way. This is going to be really steep from here up to the top. I think I have to climb 400 feet in a half a mile. .7 miles into my hike, I'm up to 3,150 feet. Whew. coming up the Robertson Mountain Trail. It's really steep. And over there, that's at a bearing of about 22 degrees magnetic. That's Thoroughfare Mountain over there. So it's a little view of Thoroughfare. I'm hoping when I get up to the summit, we'll be able to see Old Rag. But first we gotta get the rest of the way up to the summit. Let's see, it's about another 2/10 of a mile. .8 miles into my hike. The elevation here is 3240. Down there's the main trail. I'm sitting on a rock catching my breath. That's the way I came from, that way up the trail. And then this is pretty much peak elevation for the trail, and then it starts to drop back down, going back down into like Corbin Hollow. I got to take, to get up to the summits up here, about another couple of 100 feet. So it looks like I'm going to have to try and find a dim trail here off to the side here, off to the right, see if I can find my way up to the summit. .9 miles into my hike. I'm up to 3,270 feet. I'm either on the summit or near it. It's a little hard to tell. There's some scrub trees behind me that might be a little bit higher up. Anyway, here's the view. It's pretty spectacular from up here. I can't give you the total view because I'm sitting on a rock and I don't want to fall off. But this is what it looks like. Old Rag Mountain's behind me, unfortunately, so you can't see much of it from here. Well, I finally found my way up to the summit, at the real summit. You have to do some rock climbing to get up here, and it's kind of precarious, the drop off. So I gotta be careful going back down. But anyway, here it is. This one is marked Pope 1998 National Geodetic Survey horizontal control mark. I'll have to look up the elevation, but there it is. I just got down off those rocks off the summit. It was kind of like a controlled slow motion crash coming down off those mountains, off those rocks. There's not much to hold on to. But anyway, the trail's over there, and I'll mark this spot on my map. Look at this. I mean, this is basically up here at the summit, like maybe 150 feet away. It's a little bit cleared out. You got trees, you got shade. I mean, there's a pretty flat spot right there. This spot right here is fairly flat. And then the summit's right up there. So I'll mark it with my trusty old GPS. .6 miles into my hike. I'm coming down off of Robertson Mountain now. Let's see, 4.6 miles into my hike. I'm down to 2,810 feet. And there's a shot of the Old Rag summit right there. First decent view I've had of it. Old Rag. This is a map of today's hike. The quadrangle name is Old Rag Mountain, 1994, and I hiked across the summit of Robertson Mountain. Robertson Mountain is here, and over here to the east is Old Rag Mountain. I parked right here. There's a parking lot for about 12 cars or so here in Berry Hollow at the trailhead here. Parked my car here, came up Berry Hollow Road. When you get to this this turnoff here, this is where the village of Old Rag, Virginia used to be, right here. I took the Old Rag Fireroad, which is this road right here. It's a gravel road. And start climbing Robertson Mountain up to here. Then you turn right and get on Robertson Mountain Trail. Continue to climb, and this part gets really, really steep, which is why there's all these little switchbacks here. Up to the summit here. Looked around and finally found the benchmark from 1998. Now, what's kind of interesting here is this map is dated 1994. It says the elevation is 3296. When they put the benchmark up there and surveyed it, they revised it down about 2 feet to 3293.6 feet. So the elevations on these maps, they can change over time. Anyway, then started coming down the trail this way, and this is really steep down through here, until I got down to Weakley Fireroad, and then followed this back to Old Rag, Virginia, and then finally back down to my car down here. So this part and this part and this part are fire roads. This part across the top is a trail, a foot trail. And that was the hike for today.